Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm live. No, I'm good. I'm on live now. Okay, ready to go. Thank you. Okay, let's make sure everything's working here. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right with everybody. I want to make sure everybody can see and hear me fine. I do believe you can. So let me make sure. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Welcome back to 2015 Week 1. It is the Google Plus Sunday Hangout with the King. We are back for this season. Thanks everybody for showing up. This is a preview of the Exclusive Edge Fantasy Football Package. We'll be launching tomorrow, hopefully. Start typing in your questions. I will get them answered. First, I want to give some of my bold predictions for today. Ryan Matthews and James Jones will both get in the end zone today. Jimmy Graham will catch 2 touchdown passes as well, and Jared Cook is a sneaky play. All right, let's get started here. All right, let's start from Misty. Misty, welcome back. Okay, need one from Larry Fitzgerald, Colston, or Mike Wallace. This tough between Colston and Mike Wallace. Non-PPR, I think Wallace gives you a little bit better shot of a touchdown. Also from Misty, Joseph Randall or Gio Bernard. I'll probably go with Randall. He's going to start in line for more carries. From Jerome, should I chance it with Mike Evans to play Devin Funchess in the early game? Another tournament would be Fred Jackson and pick up free agent Louis Murphy. Funchess right now is not even starting. If you're desperate, maybe you can go with James Jones if he's out there. I really don't trust Funchess. I really don't trust Louis Murphy. Maybe Tyler Lockett is out there. Brandon Coleman. Louis Murphy, maybe if you're desperate, but I wouldn't use Funchess today. But it's you can wait, if you got Louis Murphy because they play at the same time and then see what happens. Who should I start in the flex? Alshon Jeffrey, Yeldon, or Sankey? Jeffrey looks like he's good to go. Need one from Andre Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald. Bench Andre Johnson now that he's playing with Andrew Luck. I need two in a non-PPR, Joique Bell, Charles Johnson, and Alshon. If he plays, Alshon is expected to play. I think Charles Johnson's very underrated. Need one from Ivory or Latavius Murray. I think Murray has a little bit more upside, although I like both of them. Ryan Tannehill or Bradford, that is very tough, but I think Bradford might give you a little bit more passing volume. Ivory or Doug Martin. I think Doug Martin builds off a strong preseason today. Need one in a non-PPR, Wallace, Decker, or Yeldon. I think I'm going to go with Wallace there for the most upside. Non-PPR, need two, Gore, Ellington, Stewart, Abdullah, Tevin Coleman. I'll go Ellington, and he's healthy, and Stewart for a lot of work. Need one from Macklin, Ivory, or Randall. Let's go with Ivory for most guaranteed touches and best shot of a touchdown. Standard league, the one wide receiver, running back, and a flex for Greg. Your one wide receiver is Jordan Matthews for sure. Your flex, I think Doug Martin's going to have a very good day. All right. All right. If you can't hear me, let me know. Everything should be fine now. Just want to make sure. Everybody can seemingly hear me okay. All right. Need two. Hold on. Just want to make sure everything's okay here. All right. Need two, TJ Yeldon, Jarvis Landry. Love Jarvis Landry, Greg. And then I would also go with Golden Tate as you're probably well, that's standard. I still think Tate might give you the best shot of a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, Charles Johnson, or TJ Yeldon. I'm going to go with Aguilar. I really like the matchup for him tomorrow night. Need flex from Blue, Yeldon, Decker, or Roddy White. I will go Yeldon there for possible 3-down work today. PPR, need one wide receiver and a flex. Tate, Deshaun Jackson, no. Carlos Hyde, Charles Johnson. I think Charles Johnson has the most upside. Need a flex, Keenan Allen, Doug Martin, Danny Woodhead, Allen Robinson, Eric Decker. Again, I think Martin builds off a strong preseason. Need to drop one, add a kicker for this week in a standard league. Fitzgerald, David Johnson, or C.J. Spiller. I added Devontae Adams and dropped my kicker when Jordy went down. Could just not pull off a trade. I guess, yeah, unfortunately, you got to drop David Johnson there. Sounds like you're playing a 10-team league. Can't have everybody. Need two from Randall, Decker, Baldwin, Colston, or Sankey. I will go with Colston there to be the busiest, and Decker is your next safest. Again, I ask, please don't type your questions twice this morning. I'll try to get to all of them. If you do type it twice, it kind of backs us up, so please don't do that. If Jeffrey plays, should I start him, Aguilar, or Decker? Decker's not in the equation for me. Jeffrey looks like he's going to go, so I think you have to use him. Kelsey or Clay? Kelsey every time. I have a comfortable lead thanks to Brady. Sorry, Bob. No lead is comfortable after just one player in one game. Charles Johnson or Jared Cook, Arizona. I don't know who you mean, Jared Cook of the Rams or John Brown. If it's John Brown, I'll go with John Brown. If not, I will go with Charles Johnson. Stewart or Latavius Murray. I think Stewart's in a line for a lot of work. Would you play Bradford over Peyton Manning? Definitely. Peyton Manning did not have a good preseason. Mike Evans or Ivory in a flex. Go with the healthy player whenever you can. Ivory, McCoy, Charles Johnson, or Ivory in a PPR flex. McCoy's kind of iffy. I'll go with Charles Johnson there for some upside. Need two, Andre Johnson, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Golden Tate, Larry Fitzgerald. Definitely the first two there. Zelmo, welcome back. Landry or Decker, definitely Landry. I have Mike Evans in the flex. I can plug in McFadden, Colston, Shane Vereen, or Charles Johnson. I would definitely go with Charles Johnson. I really like him today. Actually, tomorrow. Non PPR need a running back and a flex. Carlos Hyde, Doug Martin, and Brandon Cooks. Cooks, you can't bench him. Like Martin to build off that strong preseason. Hey, Kyle, it's not Christmas. It is opening day. Latavius Murray or Stewart. I'll go Stewart. Uh, Need a running back and a flex. Yeldon, Vereen, David Johnson, Wallace, and Decker. Uh, Running back, I will go with Yeldon for the most work, and then I'll go Wallace. Melty Mafia is back. Hey, how you doing, Melty Mafia? Uh, Non PPR, one wide receiver. I would go Colston, half point. Need a running back and a wide receiver. I will go Gore and Keenan Allen. Zelmo needs a flex. I will go with Mike Wallace there. Benny Cunningham and Garcon. Get Benny Cunningham is in line for more work. I don't like either one of those guys. Andre Johnson or Aguilar. I got to go Andre Johnson. He's more proven. Although I do like Aguilar. Mad Mike's needs two and a flex. I think Stewart's in line for a lot of work. He should be a running back, and I'll go Nelson Aguilar and John Brown as your wide receiver. How crazy of a play is Denard Robinson? Don't like it. I think T.J. Yeldon is going to be in line for a lot of work. Denard Robinson is already last year's news. That's why they drafted T.J. Yeldon. How concerned about Cobb? Would you play Josh Brown over him at PPR? If he's listed as probable, he's good to go. I don't think you can over worry. I would stick with Cobb today. New two running backs, Doug Martin, Andre Ellington, Latavius Murray. I'm going to go Ellington and Martin. I think Ellington has a good day as long as he's healthy, which he is. Running back in a flex, Ivory, Stewart, and Decker. I'll bench Decker there. Eifert or Rudolph, that's tight for me, but Rudolph is a little more proven. Andre Johnson and Mike Wallace. Andre Johnson. Jordan Matthews and Jared Cook. No way would I start Jared Cook over Jordan Matthews. Cook is a sneaky play, but no way over Matthews. Charles Johnson, Woodhead, and Watkins, definitely Johnson. Yeldon, Mike Wallace, and Roddy. I'll go Wallace. Would you start Kaepernick or Carr? Kaepernick offers a rushing upside. I'll go Kaepernick. Latavius Murray or TJ Yeldon. I'll go Murray. Bradford or Tannehill. It's close. I like Bradford. Need one in the PPR for flex. This is from Sarah. I'm going to go Terrence Williams. I think that's a high-scoring game tonight. Yeldon or Tate in a non-PPR. Definitely Tate. Need two flexes in a half-point PPR for Bill S. I will go with Joyce Bell and Eddie Royal. John Brown or T.Y. Hilton. I don't think John Brown is proven enough to start him over T.Y. Hilton yet, as much as I like him. Marshall or Decker. I'll lean Marshall. What side, Megatron and the Beast or Le'Veon and Brandon Cooks? If you're making a trade there, it's almost like a wash. You don't really help yourself with that, but if you want, I'll take Megatron and Lynch. But you're really not filling any needs there, and it's pretty much a wash. Those guys are like similar at the same positions. When you want to make a trade, you want to fill a need or make a significant upgrade, really. Decker or Bolden, definitely Decker. Need one in a PPR flex. Ivory, Macklin, Charles Johnson, Ryan Matthews, Terrence Williams. I'll go Charles Johnson. Need a wide receiver between Golden Tate, John Brown, and Brian Quick. I'm going to go John Brown there for the big day. Brandon Marshall, Charles Johnson, definitely Johnson. Breeze or Bradford. Bradford has a better matchup, but I drafted Breeze as my every week starter. You may end up trading one of those. I'm going to go with Bradford. I really like the upside. He's perfect for that offense. Need a flex for Sarah, Joy Bell. Yeah, please don't ask your question twice. I already answered this one. Terrence Williams. Again, if I will get to all the questions, I see all of them. If you type it twice, it's going to kind of back us up. So please, I appreciate if you don't do that. Need two running backs: Latavius, Abdullah, Vereen, Yeldon. I'm going to go with Latavius and Yeldon there. Doug Martin of McFadden, definitely Martin. Sammy Watkins or Decker, no way I'm using Watkins. Need two in a PPR for Jason. Landry, Matthews, Devontae Adams, Emmanuel Sanders. Wow, that's tough. I love Jordan Matthews this week. I think Devontae Adams has a lot of upside. Would you play Carson Palmer over Peyton Manning? That's close. I'm going to say yes. Picked up Dion Lewis on waiver wire will be better than to Joseph Randall for the rest of the season. Bob, it's really too early to tell anything about the rest of the season. You want to see how Randall does today. This is his last chance to get an opportunity. That answer really doesn't exist yet. Wait to see what happens today. It's not like you have to make the decision today about which one to keep. Let's see how Randall does today. Eli Manning or Stafford, I'll definitely go Eli. Delaney Walker or Kyle Rudolph, I'll go Rudolph for the standard. Chad Hovis, welcome back, Chad. Half point PPR, two running backs. I am going to go with. I'm not sure what your question is there. Are you just okay? Ellington and Hill are definitely two running backs. Landry and Jeffrey, wide receivers. Jeffrey's gonna play today. And then your flex, I'd probably go with Shane Vereen there. And I slightly prefer the Chiefs. I don't think you need to carry two defenses. Macklin or Marshall, I'll go Macklin. Good morning, Adam from Buffalo. Welcome back. Thanks for being part of RotoX Nation again. One wide receiver, love John Brown for the matchup. Okay. Need one wide receiver, Charles Johnson, Ruben Randall, Green Beckham, James Jones, easily Charles Johnson for me. He's underrated. Landry Robinson or Abdullah, definitely Landry. Love the matchup. Running back in a flex, Doug Martin, Ivory, Randall Aguilar, Roddy White, or Kendall Wright. I'm going to go with Doug Martin and Aguilar. Let's see, from Henry Higgins. I will go with Charles Johnson there, non-PPR. Need two from Steve Smith, Marshall, Vernon Davis. Gets 1 point per point and a half for a catch. Vernon Davis could start bouncing back this week, so I'll go with him and Brandon Marshall. Rashad Jennings or Charles Johnson, I'll go with Charles Johnson. Evans if he plays or Aguilar. Aguilar has no health issues, and it's a good matchup for him. Vereen or Abdullah. I think Abdullah, is a little bit more upside there. Tevin Coleman or Gio. I'll go Coleman. He might be in line for more work there. Charles Johnson, Nelson Aguilar, Mamari Cooper. Cooper's got a tough matchup. I'm going to go with Aguilar. What do you think Abdullah's role will be this week? I think he'll share some time with Joyke Bell. I think it'll be a timeshare there. Charles Johnson or Keenan Allen, Johnson, Martin and Alshon Jeffrey, Martin, Murray or Rashad Jennings. I'll go Murray. Alfred Morris or Alfred Blue, definitely Alfred Blue. Four Brothers needs me to pick two. Alshon Jeffrey since he's playing and Ruben Randall. Woodhead, Yeldon, Tate, or Robinson. Assume Evans is a go or use Tate for Robinson. You can't assume Evans is a go. I would probably go Tate Yeldon. Which team lets up the fewest points, Baltimore or Buffalo? I'll probably go Baltimore. There are better defenses out there, though. Check my lineup ranks. Latavius Murray and Joyke Bell, definitely Latavius Murray. I have David Cobb. Should I drop him and pick up one of the following? Alfred Blue, David Johnson, or Brandon Bolden? My starters are Marshall and Abdul. Also have Spiller. I like Johnson better in the long term, but I think you need Blue right now. Flex, Yeldon, John Brown, or Jordan Matthews. Let's see. I'm going to go Jordan Matthews. He's a must start there, Bob. 1 second, please. Okay. Just had to fix something with my laptop there. Make sure I'm looking okay there. Okay. Adam from Buffalo need a wide receiver and a flex. Landry's a must start today. Also go with DeAndre Hopkins. Eli and Tannehill's a close call, but Tannehill has better potential for rushing yards. Need two from Baldwin, Garcon, Josh Hill, Hearns, or Malcolm Floyd. Ugh. Uh, I will go with Hearns and Garcon. Yuck. Terrence Williams or Decker. I'm going to go with Decker there. Abdullah or Marine. It already answered that. Abdullah, please don't type your questions twice. Thank you. Melvin Gordon, Isaiah Crowell, or Joyce Bell. Joyce Bell, she's back. I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon there. Need to choose between Alshon Jeffrey and Doug Martin. I'll go with Martin. Let's see. Need one for a flex. Joyce Bell, Terrence Williams, Ryan Matthews, Devin Funchess. Terrence Williams in a shootout. Need two wide receivers. Andre Johnson, Amari Cooper, and Steve Smith. Bench Steve Smith there. Thank you, BBN Forever. Appreciate the comment. Kick return yardage. Need two between Ingram, Landry, Hopkins, and Tyler Lockett. I think I got to play Tyler Lockett. Well, I just don't know what his role is going to be exactly. Landry's a must start. But 1 point for 20 yards. I think you're going to have to go Landry and Lockett. Need flex. Aguilar, Devontae Freeman, John Brown, David Johnson, Devontae Parker, Coleman, James Jones. I'm going to go Aguilar for sure. What are you anticipating for Brandon Cooks this season? Yeah, I think he could score about, catch about 75 balls and score about 9 touchdowns. Mike Evans, should I sit him and play the Charles Johnson or TJ Yeldon? I think Charles Johnson's a much safer play. Eli or Matt Ryan, I'll go Eli. One wide receiver and a half-point PPR, John Brown, Terrence Williams, Allen Robinson, definitely John Brown. Bradford or Matt Ryan, I'll go Bradford. Crabtree over Funchess, Locker or Parker for the rest of the season. We're only in week 1. We don't want to worry about the rest of the season yet. I think Funchess has the most promise there. Then Lockett. I think if you were asking me who you right now most have on your roster, Devin Funchess. We don't even know if these guys are going to be healthy in week 3. You never know what can happen here. Ice Veins need a flex. You can't bench Andre Johnson. Rudolph or Eifert, very close, but I like Rudolph. Brad needs one in a PPR. I will go John Brown. Bluto needs a flex. I am going to go with Abdullah. Vernon Davis or Rudolph, definitely Rudolph. Now that he's healthy, he's got to be in the lineup for you. Hilton or Allen Robinson. No way do I start Allen Robinson over Hilton yet. He's got to prove it. He's got to earn it. Ingram, Doug Barton, or Murray. I'll go Ingram. Dominic needs a wide receiver, tight end. You can't bench Jimmy Graham. Pick one, Latavius Murray or Ivory. I'll go Latavius Murray. How do I think Lynch will do today? Probably about, I'll say 50 rushing yards, 10 receiving yards, and touchdown. Not much statistical upside, but he'll get in the end zone. If anything, I could see Graham actually catching 2 touchdown passes today. Need one for PPR flex for Jay. I'll go with Keenan Allen. Doug Martin and Jonathan Stewart close, but I like Stewart for a little more work. Need three for Big Joe. I'll go with Cobb, Sanders, and Robinson. No way you should use Garcon. Pick two to start for Rick. I'll go Ellington and Latavius Murray. Wolverine be a decent PPR and Giants up tempo offense, definitely. Evans or Allen Robinson, definitely Allen Robinson. If you got a healthy alternative that's quality, which you do, you go with him. Okay, just want to check something here. Okay, back to the questions here. John Brown or Decker, definitely John Brown. Flex help Alfred Blue or Gio Bernard. I'll go Gio Bernard for more upside since a half point PPR. Four Brothers needs me to pick two. Alshon Jeffrey's playing. Use him and Ruben Randall for a possible touchdown. Henry Higgins of those threes, who's the highest upside? Who's the safest? Highest upside for Wallace. Safest. None of them. I'd probably say Wallace too. St. Louis or Carolina defense. St. Louis, Denver, Carolina, Denver. Like Denver today. Big Joe wants me to rate his top three in order. I will go Forsett, Gordon, and Coleman. Wide receiver and a flex from John Brown, Woodhead, Marshall, and Charles Johnson. I'll go Brown and Charles Johnson. What makes you like Charles Johnson over Mike Wallace? He's just a better fit for that offense than Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace has more downfield upside, but Bridgewater still got to work on that. Charles Johnson is the big target, big fluid target that really fits that offense better. I have Antonio Gates as a backup tight end. Should I stash or pick up Aaron Rodgers? I would stash him. Not that you really need a backup tight end either. Delaney Walker, not too keen on him. I don't know why. The guy's really he had a terrific season last year. He's playing with a young quarterback. You think Rodgers is worth picking up? Not over Delaney Walker. I think you're underrating Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker Eifert, although I do like Eifert better this week. He could have a big breakout year. Could begin this week. Non-PPR, need one for the flex and one wide receiver. This is for SG. I will go Emmanuel Sanders and Latavius Murray. Devontae Adams, Andre Johnson, Adams. Dion Lewis, does he remain PPR relevant when Blunt returns? Yeah, I think it'll be a timeshare. If Ladarius plays with Mo Rudolph, no way. Like a healthy Rudolph, Matt Ryan or Sam Bradford. Stick with Jeffrey or none of those guys available on free agency, Brad, are better than Jeffrey. I think you might be overreacting. Did you see Pete Carroll commenting on that limited Locke's role in the offense? He has historically thrown rookies right into play. He's really the only big play guy on that team besides Lynch. Breakout wide receiver. I think you're forgetting, Chad, one big play guy. I forget that Jimmy Graham dude that they acquired. Cutler or Stafford, definitely Stafford. Streaming defense, Titans, Vikings, or Broncos, definitely the Broncos, and it could be more than a stream this year. Tannehill or Bradford, that's close. I like Bradford for a little more upside. Mike Evans and Dorial Green Beckham. What time do the Titans play? They play at 1. You might have to use Green Beckham. Telvin Smith or Preston Brown. Is Blaine Gabbert still available? I think you're joking there. Blaine Gabbert still available. Bluto. Need one running back. Joyce Bell. She's nice. Alfred Morris or Ryan Matthews. I'm going to go Morris. Drop Gates for Rudolph, definitely. Jets or Denver. Jets have a great matchup. Why do you prefer Decker over Terrence Williams? Cowboys game is a shootout. I think Decker is just a more proven, reliable receiver, and Terrence Williams he's very boom or bust. Uh, Henry Higgins, thanks to be part of the Road X Nation for the third year running. Thanks, Henry. I'm glad you are back. Pick two between Andre Johnson, Jarvis Landry, Charles Johnson, McFadden, Woodhead, Stevie Johnson. Landry's a must start, and I'm already said I like Charles Johnson. Ingram or Forsett? That's a tough one. Forsett's got a little bit more upside. Need a flex from Yeldon, Macklin, Blue, or Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray for the most upside there. Vinman, Steve Johnson, Quick, or Geo, or Vincent Jackson. I'll definitely go Vincent Jackson with Evans hurting. Need flex, Yeldon, Blue, or Tate. I'll definitely go Tate there. Okay, looks like we're all caught up. See, I told you I'd get to everything. Keep them coming here. 548. Okay, need one in a PPR. Ingram, McCoy, or Ivory. It's kind of hard to bench McCoy there, but I'll go Ingram. Need a flex. Marshall, Charles Johnson, Joik Bell, Ryan Matthews. I'll definitely go Charles Johnson. Okay, keep them coming. How you doing, boy? Coach Beasley, a good DFS set contrarian play? Nah. I think you might be overthinking it. I like James Jones. Thoughts on Deshaun Jackson for the rest of the season? He's too boomer bust, and the quarterback situation is not good. Is he worth dropping for Decker, Roddy, Stevie Johnson, or Fitzgerald? I would rather have Decker. I think Decker's kind of underrated. Okay, let's get back to the top here. Gore, Andre Johnson. I don't like Gore against that Buffalo defensive front. Ruben Randall or Terrence Williams. Williams for more yardage upside. Hillbilly Jim, how you doing, boy? Needs a PPR flex. Golden Tate, Joseph Randall, Yeldon, McFadden, Coleman. I'm going to go Golden Tate is your safest there. One wide receiver and two flex for Rashad Jennings, Deshaun Jackson, Bolden, and Fitzgerald. The wide receiver, I'll go Fitzgerald, actually. I like his matchup today. And I'll go Rashad Jennings and Bolden. Andre Johnson or Charles Johnson, like them both, but I'll go Andre. Predictions for Tannehill today? I'm going to say two passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Woodhead, Geo, or Royal, and I'll say 280 passing yards. Woodhead, Geo, or Royal. I'm gonna go with Geo there. I don't like it. Any inside of the Cowboys running back situation? As a Hawks fan, do you have any belief in Michael? Right now, it's Randall's final opportunity to win the job. They may go with the hot hand. I think Michael's a much better fit in that offense than he was in Seattle. Numbers for Breeze today, I will say 290 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. CJ Anderson prediction, I think he's going to have to work hard for his yardage. I'll say 65 yards and touchdown. Need two in a PPR. Ingram, Ivory, Macklin, or Charles Johnson. I'll go Ingram and Charles Johnson. Who do you like more for tackles today? Preston Brown or Telvin Smith? That's really a question I would ask Tim McCullough on Twitter. I'll lead Tevin Smith, but Dan Dobish and Tim McCullough really are IDP experts on Twitter. Gore, Colston, or Ruben Randall? In fact, let's see. You know what, El Guapo? I am going to get Tim McCullough on the horn for you right now and find out what he thinks. Hold on. Tim. Scott, I'm in the Google Plus Hangout and somebody has an IDP question, and I feel like you're our expert. Okay, who do you like better for tackles today, Tim? Preston Brown or Telvin Smith? Why? All right, Tim. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I'm gonna tell everybody to follow you for IDP advice. Where do people follow you on Twitter, Tim? At Tim underscore Roto Experts for IDP questions. He says Preston Brown. He's got a better matchup. Thank you, Tim. Bye. Okay. Gore Colston or Ruben Randall? I'm gonna go Colston there. I need a running back and a flex out of Joseph Randall, Darren McFadden, T.J. Yeldon, Ryan Matthews. Uh, Running back, I will go Yeldon, and flex. I think Matthews is going to score today. If Mike Evans is out, do I start Charles Johnson or T.J. Yeldon? Play it safe. Go with Charles Johnson. Will Stafford have a bounce back year? Might be much of the same. Yeah, I think they want to be conservative with him, and now they got more running backs this year. He's no longer be explosive like he was a few years ago under Mike Lombardi. Would you drop Gurley to pick up James Jones? No. I have Brandon LaFell and pretty good wide receiver depth. Should I stash LaFell, pick up a free agent from Ruben Randall, Marcus Williams, Amendola, Hearn, Cecil Short, Stills? Uh, he could be gone for half a season. I'd rather have Ruben Randall. Would you rather Crabtree or James Jones? I played James Jones today. Uh, for now, I'd probably take Jones for a little bit more upside. Need a flex for Roddy White, Wallace, or Bolden? I'm going to go Wallace. James Stewart or Mike Evans? James Stewart, go with the healthy guy. Need two flexes for Donnell Watkins, Bolden, and Fitzgerald. I'll go Bolden and Fitzgerald. Cameron or Jordan Reed? Definitely Cameron. Golden Tate or Frank Gore? Definitely Golden Tate. Woodhead, Sproles, or Abdullah? I'll go Abdullah. Drop Dorsett for Lockett? Definitely. Geo Woodhead or Kendall Wright? I'll go Kendall Wright. Need one from Gore, Decker, Roddy White, Terrence Williams. I'm going to go Decker. Gio or Terrence Williams? Terrence Williams. Drop Charles Johnson for John Brown. I try to keep both of them, but I'd rather have Brown. Macklin or Latavius Murray? I'm going to go Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray, Stewart, and Forsett. Pick two. You might have to bench Murray there. Sure, El Guapo, no problem. Let's see, 10:35, 10:36, 10:34. Should I drop? Who should I drop between Lockett, Greenback, and Brandon Coleman? Devontae Freeman, Torrey Smith. I need to pick up a tight end. Which one? Josh Hill, Rogers, Larry Donnell, or Gilmore? I would pick up Rogers, and I would drop Brandon Coleman. Do you think Antonio Brown will finish overall wide receiver one? I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter where he finishes. He's still gonna have a great year. What do you think of Breeze this year? I drafted him because I believed his story that he was injured last year, not in decline. At the very least, he's still going to be very respectable. You don't have to worry about him. He may not be a complete fantasy superstar anymore, but he's still definitely above average. Deshaun Jackson, Tate or Gore? Definitely Tate. Need a flex from Alfred Morris, Joik Bell, Hyde, and Woodhead. I'm going to go Hyde there. Alfred Blue or Abdullah? Definitely Abdullah. Romo over Rivers. I love Romo. I'm actually rolling him out on FanDuel, DraftKings, Fantasy Aces. I knew predicted Gurley would surge towards the end of the season. How many rookie running backs have become top five players in the last 5-10 years as examples? Bob, I don't believe in statistical studies. Every player is different. This guy's got superstar potential. This is not baseball. I'm not big on statistical studies. Any one player can make it an exception. Allen Robinson or Amari Cooper? I'm going to go Cooper. They both have a tough matchup. Gore, Ruben Randall, or Colston? I'm going to go Colston there. Need a flex for Terry in a 12-team PPR. I am going to go with Eric Decker. Need a running back in a flex for Jeff. I will go with Carlos Hyde and John Brown. What's your overall outlook on Rashad Jennings? Some news out of New York, kind of down on him this year. When he's healthy, he's a pretty good runner behind the 20s. Could lose goal line carries. He's a decent flex. Cameron or Jordan Reed, definitely Cameron. Better offense. Hillbilly Jim needs a wide receiver and a flex. You can't bench Cobb and Cooks. Well, actually, got Forte too, so I'll go Forte and Cook. Morris, Cunningham, or Freeman. I guess I'll go Morris there. He's the best running back of the three. Yeldon or Golden Tate. I'll go Tate. Donnell, Watkins, Bolden, or Fitzgerald. I'll rank them in order for you. I'll go Fitzgerald, Bolden, Watkins, Donnell, Newton or Stafford. Definitely Stafford. Palmer or Cutler. Definitely Palmer. Love the matchup for him today. When do you think Christian Mike will be the top running back in Dallas? Probably by week 4, I think. Much better fit in that offense. Definitely the most talent there. Change of scenery, good. Going home. Latavius Murray, Blue or Macklin? I'll go Murray. Should I swap out Mike Evans for Tevin Coleman, even if Evans plays? Always best to go with the healthy player. What's your opinion of playing two wide receivers from the same team? Where did that question go? Okay, from good offense, particularly owning Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant. I don't like it because any week that they get shut down, you're in trouble. And if one has a big game, it could be at the expense of the other. Should I try and trade Breeze and Cooks for Jamal Charles? I have Bradford. If he doesn't bite, should I make the same offer for C.J. Anderson? Uh, I don't know if you can get Jamal Charles or C.J. Anderson for either one of those guys. You might have to shoot lower. Jets or Eagles? Love the Jets today. They get a cake matchup to open the season for the second consecutive year. Rashad Jennings, Eric Decker, definitely go Decker there. PPR league, Lamar Miller, Macklin Decker, Jonathan Stewart, definitely Lamar Miller against the Redskins. Flyer, Devontae Parker, Dorial Green Beckham. I like both of them, but Parker plays in a better offense. Will Abdullah Beach eventually be the top running back in Detroit? I think he'll continue to share work and be the top fantasy running back in Detroit. Need one running back and two flex. Joik Bell, Abdullah, Stevie Johnson, Royal, and Gore. I am going to go two running backs. I'm going to go Abdullah and Gore, and I'll go with Steve Smith in the flex. You don't want to use two running backs from the same team. Please pick 1.5 point PPR. Abdullah, Woodhead, or Vereen. I'll definitely go Abdullah there for the most upside. PPR league, I need a running back and a wide receiver out of Yeldon or Joik Bell. I'll go Yeldon there for more guaranteed work. And Landry, Evans, Aguilar, Terrence Williams, a wide receiver. Just can't bench Landry today. The matchup is too good. Owen Daniels and Safarian Jenkins. I think Safarian Jenkins could have a very good game today. Alfred Morris or Garcon. Alfred Morris for more guaranteed carries. Need a flex and two running backs between Randall, Alfred Morris. This for Big Papa Pump. For flex, let's see. I'm going to go with Jonathan Stewart as one. I'll go with Yeldon as the other, and Alfred Morris is your third. Jets defense, Broncos, and Miami defense. I like all three of them, but I got to go Jets, Miami, and Broncos based on the matchup. Panthers or Jets, you got to start the Jets today against Cleveland. Excellent defense, very bad offense. Doesn't take a fantasy expert to figure it out. Thoughts on Denver defense the rest of the season, top 5? I think so. There's a lot of talent. Now they got Wade Phillips running the show. Need 2 from Brandon Marshall, Andre Johnson, John Brown, and Decker. I can't bench Andre Johnson. Love John Brown today. Joik Bell or Dougie Martin. I think Martin builds on a strong preseason today. PPR, Deshaun Jackson, Quick McFadden, or Kyrie Robinson. I guess Deshaun Jackson is the least of all your evils. Terry needs a wide receiver and a flex. I like Aguilar a lot this weekend. I'll go with Amari Cooper, go with the two rookies. Amy needs a flex, leaning towards Marshall. I think he's your best player. Eifert or Rudolph, very close, but Rudolph is more proven. Carson Palmer, Bridgewater, definitely Carson Palmer. Love his matchup. He's more proven. Crowell, Ryan Matthews, and McFadden. I think Matthews actually gets in the end zone this week. Good daily play. Passed on Tannehill and drafted Bradford. Good move. Here's what I recommend you do. You handcuff Mark Sanchez in case Bradford gets hurt again. Braden Marshall, Vincent Jackson. I like Jackson's matchup better. Thoughts on David Cobb or Johnson for running back depth? I can drop Moncrief. David Johnson's not hurt like Cobb, and Ellington ahead of him often gets hurt. Chris Johnson, I don't think is going to be a factor. Romo or Bradford, that's very, very close for me, but I'm going Romo. It's a shootout there. And we've seen more from Romo than Bradford. Stevie Johnson or Steve Smith? Steve Smith. Marshall or Watkins? Can't use Watkins, really, unless my other receivers are really bad. Colston or Fitzgerald, I like Colston to be very busy today. Numbers for Greg Olsen, I'm going to say 7 catches for 80 yards. He'll be busy. Emmanuel Sanders or Landry, that's a tough one, but I love Landry's matchup today. Palmer or Wilson, I'm going to go Palmer there. He's got a better matchup, and he's looked good in the preseason. All right, we're all caught up here. Very good. Okay, Tannehill or Wilson, definitely Tannehill. Really like his matchup a lot better. In fact, he could be the second best running, passing quarterback behind Wilson in fantasy football this year. Need one: Deshaun Jackson, Anquan Bolden, or Decker. Definitely go Decker. Numbers for Abdullah today. I'm going to say 35 rushing yards, 45 receiving yards, and about 5 catches. Eli or Wilson, love the matchups for Eli. Got any great daily fantasy value picks? Ryan Matthews to get in the end zone. James Jones to score a touchdown. Jared Cook to have some pretty good numbers. Seattle has pretty good has problems at safety. Eli or Ryan. Eli always does well against Dallas. Crowell or Terrence Williams. Easily Terrence Williams in a shootout. No comparison. Eli Manning or Russell Wilson. Any format, Eli Manning, much better matchup. Injured off Alshon Jeffrey, a grab, Ruben Randall, James Jones, a Crabtree. You're overthinking it, BJ. Jeffrey is ready to play. Keenan Allen, Macklin, Deckler, Devontae Parker. I'm going to go Keenan Allen there for sure. He's the safest. What do you thought of Ellington and David Johnson in Arizona for the season? I think Ellington doesn't stay healthy. I think David Johnson is a good one in comparisons to Matt Forte. I'm a fan of David Johnson, but use Ellington when he's in there. Let's see. Numbers for Vereen today. I'll say 30 rushing yards uh, and 6 catches for 45 yards. Need 2 from Joseph Randall, Abdullah, Corolla Colston. I'll go Randall since he's starting. Actually, I'll go Abdullah for more upside and Colston to be very involved in the offense. Charles Johnson, Allen Robinson, and Watkins. I think Johnson is underrated, and I would definitely use him. Allen Robinson or Watkins. Robinson is a tough matchup, but I'd still use him over Watkins. PPR flex need 1 for Hillbilly Jim. I will go with definitely Andre Ellington. Good matchup. Numbers on John Brown today. I am going to say 5 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. Bennett or Cameron, definitely Bennett, especially with all the injuries at wide receiver there for Chicago. Stewart or Brandon Marshall, definitely Stewart. What to do with Jeffrey if he suits up? All depends on your other options, but he's expected to play, so go with him. Jeffrey, Allen Robinson, or Fitzgerald Jeffrey's going to play. Who do you think is going to be better to own as the season progresses? Crowell, Duke Johnson. I'll take Duke Johnson for more upside, especially in a PPR. Need 2 in a PPR for Amy. Aguilar and John Brown. No way to use Watkins over those guys. 1 wide receiver and a flex. Charles Johnson, John Brown, TJ Yeldon, Danny Woodhead, Brandon Marshall, Joy Bell, Terrence Williams. Love the matchup for John Brown, and I will go with the underrated Charles Johnson. Big year for Michael Floyd if he and Carson stay healthy. I think he'll have some big games and he'll be inconsistent. Have questionable Evans on the bench with Halou, Harbor, Gilmore, and Tammy on the wire. Ow. Uh, I'd wait to see if Evans is going to play. Then maybe I'd pick up Lewis Murphy. Yuck. McCoy or Jennings, definitely McCoy. Jordan Matthews numbers for today, maybe for tomorrow. Midget Santa, welcome back. I'm gonna say 7 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Big night. Need 2 Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Landry, Stevie Johnson. Keenan Landry's a must start, and I'll go with Keenan Allen. Yeldon, Tevin Coleman, or Abdullah. Non PPR, I'll go with Yeldon for the best shot of a touchdown. Is it ridiculous to think Bortles will be a top 15 quarterback this year? Well, I think you might have been listening to Nando DeFino. I just don't see it. I think he could be top 20. Just because you talk a guy up doesn't mean he's going to finish where you want him to. Uh, in a 2 quarterback league, if you have him, I think he could be respectable this year, and he's going to improve. Once Gates returns, will he be as effective as he was last season? I think that's hard to answer because when you miss 4 games, you can never tell how the player reacts to conditioning. Leonard Hankerson worth a play in a DFS? I'd probably say no. With Roddy White healthy, I would rather roll the dice with James Jones. Projection for Alfred Blue, can't see much against that Kansas City defense. I'm going to say 50 rushing yards. Bernard or Blue? Will Blue get 20 plus carries today like upside of Bernard? But I just feel like Blue has a primary role. Uh, I got to go with Bernard. He's got more upside. It's a better matchup. When LaFell comes back, can he get good numbers considering Brady will be feeding Gronk and Edelman? He is what he is. He's a good receiver. His role's not going to change from last year. Matt Ryan or Sam Bradford, I think in that game, Bradford has the advantage in the matchup. Okay, keep them coming. You like St. Louis and Denver defense week because they're at home? No, not because they're at home, because of the matchups. It's not that simple to evaluate a defense just because they're at home. The Raiders are at home. I don't like the Raiders. Uh, I like St. Louis because they have a great defensive line, and Seattle has issues on the offensive line. And I like Denver because they have a lot of talent. Uh, Baltimore lacks playmakers, and Wade Phillips is now their coordinator. Well, Denard Robinson made a big part of the Jaguars' offense. I don't see it. He's last year's news. They drafted TJ Yeldon to be a third down back. What are your expectations of Adrian Peterson? #1 running back in fantasy football. Wants to put all the garbage behind him. Is going to be very motivated. What are your thoughts on Benny Cunningham? Would you rather have Ronnie Hillman or Benny Cunningham on your bench in a PPR league? He's mediocre. He's okay. Hillman is a complimentary back as at best. If you got C.J. Anderson, you want Hillman. Cunningham starting for now. Neither is going to offer you much, but at least Cunningham starting right now. Yeldon and Terrence Williams. I'm going to go Terrence Williams in a shootout for more upside, even though he's kind of boom or bust. Will this year be a breakout season for Chris Ivory? I don't think so because he'll play well when he's in there, but he's got such a violent running style that he could get hurt again. Gore, Tevin Coleman, they both have tough matchups, but Gore is the more proven running back. What do you think of AJ Green this year? As long as he's healthy, he's still a top 6 or 7 fantasy wide receiver. He's a superstar. Non-PPR, Eddie Royal, Allen Robinson, John Brown, Andre Johnson, Devontae Adams need 2. I'd like to get John Brown in there, but you can't. Devontae Adams, now the number 2 wide receiver for Green Bay, and you can't bench Andre Johnson. Cooper or Deshaun Jackson, definitely Cooper. I have Evans, but also have Allen Robinson unlocked in the bench. Play it safe, go with Allen Robinson. 2 QB league, I waited on tight end, drafting Austin Seferian Jenkins. Roll with this one or grab with Donnell, Josh Hill, Vernon Davis, Colt Tide. I like Seferian Jenkins. They're really talking him up. He could have a breakout year. Not a breakout year, but he could have a pretty good season playing with a young quarterback. TD today from Richard Rodgers. It's possible. I think he'll get decent numbers outside the 20s too. I think Jared Cook's a sneaky play as well, but I'd rather go with Rodgers. All right, we're all caught up. You can keep them coming here. It's a free preview today of the exclusive Edge Fantasy Football Package, which we are hopefully launching tomorrow. Enter VIP Roto Expert for a very special discount. If Evans is out, play Vereen or Bernard in the PPR. I would play Vereen. Bernard, Cincinnati is playing who today? Oakland. I would wait for Vereen in a shootout. If Washington starts off horribly, could Matt Jones overtake Alfred Morris as the better back tone? I know everybody's waiting for this because they're bored by Alfred Morris. I think at best it becomes a timeshare. I don't think if they don't start well. I don't think it's Alfred Morris' fault. Will Miami finish as a top 5 defense? I'm going to say yes. You know, they got Sue now. That's a great defensive line, good secondary. How big will Brandon Cooks be in a PPR? Worried about the stature and health. Look, you know, he's been compared to Percy Harvin. He's a smaller guy. He already got hurt last year, but you know, what are you going to do? Trade him? When he's in there, he's going to be explosive. I think you still got to give him another year to see what we expect from him. Aguilar, Chris Ivory, love Aguilar's matchup. 10-team non-PPR need 2 of the following. One must be a running back. This is for Jim. John Brown, definitely get him in there. Alshon Jeffrey is starting. And I will go Jonathan Stewart for the most quality work. John Brown and Nelson Aguilar. I'm going to go. They both have really good matchups. I'll go with Brown, a little more experience. Flex, need 1. Steve Smith, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, or Chris Ivory. I will go with Ivory for the most guaranteed touches. Thoughts on Crowell today? Don't use him unless you're absolutely desperate against the Jets. Need 2 in a PPR. This is for DBO. I like Doug Martin to build on a strong preseason. Ellington because he's healthy today. Alshon or Randall. Alshon Jeffrey's playing. Use him. Keenan Allen and DeAndre Hopkins. I think Hopkins will get more targets today. Will Safarian Jenkins finishes a top 10 tight end? I think at the worst he finishes as a top 12. He's got the potential to be about top 9. What do you think of Macklin this year? I think it really depends on the matchup. Uh, I think he looks like a good fit for that offense. I don't. I think the yardage numbers come down and the receiving numbers go up, and I think he scores about 7 times. I think he becomes a different type of receiver this year, less explosive. Projections for New Orleans offense and Colston today. I will say 27 points. Colston 5 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. Need 2 in a standard league. Randall Yeldon, Rashad Jennings, Geo. I think Randall and Yeldon probably give you the opportunity for the most work. Owen Daniels or Jordan Reed. Don't like either, but I'll take Daniels. Corral or Ruben Randall. Definitely Ruben Randall in the shootout. Need a flex from Decker or Austin Safari and Jenkins. Tight ends get half a point PPR. There's your answer right there with that scoring. Thoughts uh, on Charles Johnson this season. PPR concerned that the offense is run based. I think they're looking at more balance, and you can't throw all the time. You can't run it 50 times a game. Charles Johnson is a good fit for that offense. Big fluid receiver, fits it well, works well with Teddy Bridgewater. I think. I think you're overthinking it and you're worrying too much. Alshon Jeffrey or Landry. I think Landry has a terrific matchup today for any scoring system. Cody Parker and Mason Crosby. That's a tight one. That's a tight one, but I'm slightly going to lean towards Parker. But hey, they're kickers. Throw darts. Would you drop Nile Davis and pick up Palmer or just go with Wilson? I don't have Charles, and Davis is the only player I can drop. I would actually pick up Palmer and start him today. I really like his matchup a lot. Would you rather have D'Angelo Williams, David Johnson, Ronnie Hillman, James Jones, Crabtree, Greenback, or Marvin Jones in a 10-team league? I think David Johnson could eventually be the starter there in Arizona. I like his upside. Would you be nervous about owning Peyton Manning this year? Yes, he's getting older. Uh, Supposedly his arm strength is down. Yeah, I would be nervous. Yes. Starting AP Calvin, Demarius need 1 running back and 1 flex. Uh, this is for Jim. I like John Brown's matchup a lot. Alshon Jeffrey's playing, so you use him. Tannehill or Palmer, they both have good matchups, but I think Tannehill is just a better fantasy quarterback. Projections for Andre Johnson this week. I think it's going to be a heavy pass rush. Look at my game previews on the front page. Heavy pass rush. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. Johnson's going to be his guy. I'm going to say 7 catches for 75 yards. All right, we're all caught up. I'm planning to stay till about 11:30 this morning. Steelers offensive line looked good Thursday night. Williams solid. Fair to upgrade Le'Veon Bell's seasonal expectations. How can you upgrade Le'Veon Bell at all from what he's expected to do? He's the number 1 player in fantasy football when he's healthy. How can it be an upgrade? It's I don't know what more you want. I don't think he's going to rush for 2,000 yards. Need 3 in a standard. Amy, I'm going to go with Landry. Great matchup. Aguilar, Devontae Adams. I love all 3 of those. Thought on Tyrod Taylor today. He concerns me. I would only use him as a daily play, maybe. He's slow to diagnose things. He's got to prove he can play under pressure. But hey, if you want to go for a rushing and receiving touchdown and daily with a little bit of running upside, do it. I wouldn't use him in a yearly league. Ellington or Latavius Murray, like Ellington now that he's healthy. Uh, like him against the Saints. I think that Cardinals can open things up there. Abdullah or Bell in a half-point PPR, definitely Abdullah. Alan Hearns is out there, so David Johnson or Hearns, 10-team PPR. I'm just going to go David Johnson. He's drawing some Matt Forte comparisons. Stewart or Gore, I like Stewart's matchup just a little bit better. Please start wearing your king hat. Maybe I'll have to do that. You want me to wear a crown? I might have to honor you. Hesitant using Frank Gore this week. Projections for him. It's not a good defensive front. I mean, it's a good defensive front. I will say this week, 65 rushing yards and 20 receiving yards. I play over to check Deshaun Jackson. Deck over Deshaun Jackson. Marshall and Decker in the same lineup. Would be better just to stick with Deshaun Jackson, Andre Johnson is my other receiver. I can't endorse using Deshaun Jackson. I'm sorry. Bigger year. Look, the LaShawn McCoy or DeMarco Murray. I think DeMarco Murray has more big games, but I think LaShawn McCoy finished up with more points. I think they're both going to be inconsistent. I'll slightly lean McCoy. Thoughts on Julius Thomas once he returns? Yes, he's not in Denver anymore, but he's still very big, fast, and fluid. I think he's still a top 10 fantasy tight end when he returns. Sandy Royal, a good play in a tournament for FanDuel. The hip's been bothering him. I think he'll go with James Jones, maybe Devontae Adams. I'd rather do that. Need one in a PPR. Yeldon, Gordon, Abdullah, or McFadden. I'm going to go Yeldon there. He may not get 3-down work. Cooks or Evans. Obviously, Evans is listed as questionable, so you're not going to use Cooks. Ivory or Carlos Hyde. Definitely Ivory. Although I do like Hyde to have at least a decent game, but I think Ivory gives you a better crack at a touchdown. All right, we're all caught up. Flex play in standard. Golden Tate or Frost? Who's Frost, Johnny? I don't know who that is. Oh, Forsett. Forsett's in line for more guaranteed work. Rudolph or Eifert. I like both of them, but Rudolph's a little bit more proven and a little bit better shot of a touchdown. Uh, I like both of them today, but I still got to lean Rudolph. Is Antonio Gates worth stashing? I have Rudolph in a 12-team PPR league. Yeah, sure, because Rudolph health is always an issue. Will Detroit be even timeshare between Bell and Abdullah? Yeah, that's what I'm foreseeing. Need one wide receiver from Wallace, Fitzgerald, Terrence Williams. I'll go Wallace there for the most. It's close with him and Terrence Williams, but I think Wallace is the more reliable receiver. Then a flex with one of those wide receivers, or TJ Yeldon. In that case, I think you can get Terrence Williams in there. He's boom or bust, but it's going to be a shootout with the Giants. Landry or Yeldon? Gotta go with Jarvis Landry. Excellent matchup against the Redskins. Shortstop McCoy today. With the hamstring, he misses less than 100%. I think the rushing yardage could be down, but he may still get in the end zone. Maybe he only rush for 50, 60 yards, but he might score a touchdown. The problem is with a guy like that, he's got to cut. He's got to juke. I think he'll be out there, but I'm not looking for any upside. Devontae Adams for Watkins. No way would I use Watkins over Devontae Adams. Not even close. Need a flex. Evans, Doug Martin, Terrence Williams, or Rashad Jennings. I think Doug Martin builds off a strong preseason today. Owen Daniels and Jordan Reed. I don't like either one of them, but I think Owen Daniels would plays with the better quarterback, obviously. So I'll go with Owen Daniels. Plus his experience in the Kubiak offense. Who's likely more get the TD this week? Terrence Williams, Fred Jackson, or Shane Vereen? Fred Jackson might not see the field at all. Shane Vereen's not a TD guy. Terrence Williams in a shootout for sure. Drop Gates for Julius Thomas as a stash. That's a tough one. Gates is more proven at a high level. I'm going to say keep Gates. What I mean by more proven at a high level is because Julius Thomas has to prove himself all over again in a way because he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right, we're all caught up. If you got more questions, what do you think Julius Thomas will do when he comes back? He seems to be on waivers in many leagues again. I think he could be a top 10 tight end. This is a guy who's big, he's fast, he's got a good catch radius. There's a reason why they acquired him for a young quarterback. He won't be as explosive, but I think he'll still be darn good. Would you rather have Eifert, Rogers, Clay, Ben Watson, or Fleener? Eifert, easily. This guy is when he's healthy, he's big, he's fluid, he's quick. He presents matchup problems. Definitely, I will go with Tyler Eifert. Kelly from Tampa. Hey, Kelly. Uh, TJ Yeldon, Anquan Bolden, Marcus Colden, Stevie Johnson, and James Jones. Good luck today. I almost got you last night in NASCAR laughing out loud. I didn't even get to check the standings yet. I didn't have Kenseth, that's for sure. I'm gonna go with Colston. I think he's gonna be very involved in the offensive flow today. Stevie Johnson or Charles Johnson and James Jones. Charles Johnson's underrated. He's really good fit for that offense. Charles Johnson easily. Year 5 for me on Roto Experts. Thanks, Ren Barron. I remember you. I'm glad you're back, and thanks for being part of the Roto X Nation. PPR, we go with Gio or Woodhead. I think Gio has a little bit more upside. Terrence Williams or Andre Johnson. You can't bench Andre Johnson. More reliable. Thoughts on Teddy Bridgewater with AP back in the mix? San Francisco is going to come to play, but I think Teddy Bridgewater still has a respectable game. I think it helps him that he has AP back in the mix. Takes pressure off him, gets less pass pressure, can use play action. I think it's good for him. Need one in a flex 12-team PPR. McFadden, Vincent Jackson, Mike Wallace, Gio Bernardo, Brian Quick. Mike Evans hurt, and I'm going to go with Vincent Jackson. Would you stash Joe Flacco, Colin Kaepernick in a standard league? You really don't need a backup quarterback if your starter's very good. But Kaepernick certainly has the rushing promise still. And hopefully working with Kurt Warner during the offseason will help him out. Okay, we're all caught up again. Thanks so much for your help, King. You helped me win my leagues last year. Love listening to you and Adam in the AM. Thanks a lot, SG. Appreciate that. We're here for you. I can't do what I do without you, so I really appreciate it. I'm 6.5 points behind you in the NASCAR league. All right. I don't even know where I finished last night. I didn't even get to check. Didn't do so well on DraftKings last night. Kenseth had an insane amount of points on DraftKings last night. I picked up Niall Davis at the end of my draft as a stash. I don't know, Charles, one of you rather have Davis or pick up Matt Jones quick Brandon Coleman or Lockett. I'd pick up Lockett. He's got some considerable upside. Could be the receiver the Seahawks have waited for. Uh, Johnny, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And thanks for subscribing. Will Muscle Hamster go 100 yards today with a score? I think he's got a very good shot of it. There are reports that he's looking like he did during his rookie year. Drafted Eagles defense and picked up Jets for this week. Would you drop one for Dion Lewis, Reggie Bush, David Johnson, Nile Davis, Fred Jackson? Who would you drop? Bench is small because we play a few in a super flex. You don't need two defenses. I would get Dion Lewis, but you probably can't do it until after today. He's probably locked for the week. Superflex. Who do you like better this week, Teddy Bridgewater or Alex Smith? We know Smith doesn't have much statistical upside. I'll go with Bridgewater. Eli or Stafford? Definitely Eli. He always kills the Dallas Cowboys. Flex, Decker, Keenan Allen, and Carlos Hyde. We'll go Carlos Hyde for most guaranteed touches and a decent performance today. Gore, Ruben, Randall. I'm actually going to go with Randall. Gore's got a tough matchup, and Randall's in a shootout. I need 3 of 5 at all flex positions. Tate, Sanders, Ellington, Landry, and Colston. Landry's a must start today. You can't bench Sanders. And then I am going to go with Ellington. He's healthy. He's got some upside today. Any updates on Monty Ball and where he might land? Does it really even matter? I do believe he was signed by the Atlanta Falcons, but I guess you play in like a 32-team league, or just let me check this for you. The Falcons were like the last guys who were interested in him. Give me 1 second here. I don't know why you would even be interested in Monty Ball, but I got to answer your question. I thought the Falcons were interested in him. Let me check this for you. Yeah, he's not signed right now. I don't even know why you're interested in him. Jeremy Hill, DeMarco Murray, C.J. Anderson, half-point PPR. That's very, very tough, but Jeremy Hill's got a good matchup today. Drop Jets or Eagles for Lewis, and yes, he is locked. I'm looking for next week. Let's get through this week first. What's your outlook for Spiller this season in the PPR? I think he's going to be terrific when he's healthy. I think it's obvious. He plays in an offense where they're going to know how to use him. Escobar or Selec, definitely Selec plays in a better offense. When are chats during the week? What times? We'll have Jake Seeley tomorrow night at 5. George Kurtz on Wednesdays at 7, and me on Fridays usually at 7, but it might be Thursday this week. Thoughts on John Brown this year in a PPR? I think he's drawn comparisons to T.Y. Hilton and Marvin Harrison. Might be a little lofty, but I still think he's an excellent wide receiver 3. 14-team hit half-point PPR. Need a running back and a flex. This is for Eric from Cleveland. I would go with Amir Abdullah in a PPR, and you got to go John Brown based on the matchup. Tannehill or Palmer. Tannehill's more of a dual threat quarterback. I go with him. Yeldon or Coleman. I think Yeldon. Uh, better chance of a touchdown. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. I really appreciate that. I guess everybody finds a fantasy expert they like sooner or later. All right, we're all caught up. You want to keep them coming. Andre Johnson and John Brown. I like John Brown, but I just can't bench Andre Johnson. He's too proven, and he's playing with the best quarterback of his career. Sometimes you can't always base things on matchup. How do you approach FanDuel tournaments with only 2 games, Monday nights? That's a good question. Uh, like a Monday night only tournament. Uh, So I'm looking at tomorrow night. It's to me, it's really intuitive. I don't have a set strategy for me. I go with the best player, but I try to get a connection like a Sam Bradford or Nelson Aguilar. Expectation of Arian Foster's return. Should I roll him out first week he returns? Uh, that's really, you're looking for an answer that really depends on how the player recovers, and nobody can really predict that. They're saying he could be back as soon as week 2, maybe week 3. It all depends on the reports. You really can't predict that. Devontae Parker or Deshaun Jackson. I don't know if Devontae Parker is going to be involved enough today. You'll have to go with Jackson. Should I start Hopkins or John Brown? Uh, that's a tight one, but Hopkins is just a more proven wide receiver. Streaming defense, Arizona, Minnesota. Not crazy about either. I'll go with Minnesota. Considering the condensed amount of players that everyone has to use. Yeah, it's I think you got to go contrarian sometimes. With some of these guys, like I don't think a lot of people are going to be on Carlos Hyde tomorrow, so that's a good play. Blue or Aguilar, definitely Aguilar. High-powered offense, good matchup. You heard rumors that the Titans will try to run a version of Chip Kelly's offense. No, but I think that's interesting considering they don't have Chip Kelly type talent out there. Uh, it's interesting. Is Mariota the right quarterback for that? Do they have the personnel? Uh, Chip Kelly's unique in the fact that it's more about the system than the players, but the players are pretty mediocre in Tennessee. I don't know if you get that kind of upside. From Robert, pick 2. Forset's a must start. Miller's a must start. Thanks so much, Ryan. Really appreciate that. Thanks for being part of the Roto X Nation again. Better stack: Zach Stacy, Chris Johnson, or David Johnson. Definitely David Johnson. Ellington gets hurt. He's drawn Matt Forte comparisons. Stacy buried on the depth chart, and Chris Johnson's a has-been. There's more upside in PPR, in your opinion? Stevie Johnson or Jorial Green Beckham? Stevie's a safer play. Green Beckham is more upside. Need 2 running backs at a Gore, Lamar Miller Stewart, or Doug Martin. Miller's a must start in that matchup. I like both Stewart and Martin. I'm going to go Martin there for more upside. How do you feel about Lennon Hackers as a potential cheap sleeper? I like him. I have him in one of my leagues. Uh, if somebody gets hurt there, he's been hurt in the past himself, but this is a better offense from him. He does have deep sleeper potential. Would you accept DeAndre Hopkins and John Brown for DeMarco Murray? Sure, if you can plug in a good running back, I would definitely take it. Oh God! All right, we're all caught up again. Be here till 11:30 Eastern. Oh, that's just, do you like Chris Ivory or Doug Martin? I like both of them. I think they both score, but I think Martin's got more yardage upside. Romo or Bradford? It's very, very close, but Romo against that Giants defense, they're missing their middle linebacker. The secondary is a problem. I got to go with Romo. Breeze or Bradford? I think Bradford's a perfect fit for that offense, and he's got more upside. And thank you as well, Johnny. I've read that Frank Gore is going to be on a touch count. Do you know anything about Josh Robinson? A rookie with some juke. Uh, I don't know if I'd roster him though, unless you have Gore himself. Do you have any opinion based on your connections how the running back situation may play out in Dallas? I own DMC, but Michael, who I know you seem high on. Look, I don't have any connections in Dallas. I'm just telling you what I see based on talent, what I've read, uh, etc. Um, Joseph Randle, I think, is his last chance to prove himself today, possibly. I don't think Darren McFadden is that effective anymore. I think Christian Michael's a really good fit in that offense. He was playing in a zone read type of offense, zone blocking type of offense in Seattle wasn't good for him. I think it's much better for him in Dallas, and he's coming home. I think it's a great situation for him. Need a flex: Randall, Anquan Bolden, Royal, or Duke Johnson. Don't think you use Duke Johnson or Royal today. I'll go Randall. Need a tight end between Owen Daniels and Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker's the better fantasy tight end. Need two of these: Gore, Doug Martin, and Macklin. I think you definitely play Doug Martin today. And then I'll go Gore over Macklin for more guaranteed work. I have a trade offer. I get Ronnie Hillman and Stevie Johnson for James Starks and Martavis Bryant. I already have C.J. Anderson and Antonio Brown. I would not do that just to get a handcuff. Martavius Bryant has too much upside. I think you get more than that from Martavius Bryant, especially if you sit and wait till towards when he returns. Flex: Geo, Hopkins, Ruben Randall, and Vereen. I think Hopkins is your safest play. Need one in a 1 point PPR out of Brandon Marshall, Larry Fitzgerald, or Hopkins. I think Hopkins is your safest play, even if he gets double teamed. Flex: Hyde, Decker, or Keenan Allen. I think Hyde might surprise some people and have a pretty good game tomorrow night. I'm going to go with Hyde. I think the 49ers are going to come to play. I think the 49ers are going to have an us against the world mentality, and they're going to show up and they're going to play Minnesota tough. Okay, let's see. We got Amir Abdullah, Joseph Randall. I'll take Abdullah for more upside. From Eli, uh, Tannehill or Stafford, definitely Tannehill. You need one wide receiver. Uh, Jarvis Landry is a must start, and then you can't bench Cooks either. Eifert or Allen, definitely Eifert. This could be the beginning of a breakout year for him. Joseph Randle or Frank Gore. I think Gore is guaranteed more work. Do you think dropping Larry Donnell for Tyrod Taylor is worth a speculative pickup? Donnell might be more involved in the offense now. I don't think you need a backup quarterback. I would not own Taylor unless you play in a two-quarterback league. Eddie Lacy and Jeremy Hill, that is a very, very tough one, but you can't bench Lacy. Maybe you should trade one. Hopkins or John Brown. I love the matchup for John Brown, but Hopkins is just more proven. Lead Belly, how you doing, Boa? Woodhead or Joe Randall. I think Randall's got to prove himself tonight. I'll go Randall. Drop Vereen for Christian Michael at my bench. Can't do it. I would drop somebody else and get Michael, but Vereen's going to be a significant part of that Giants offense. Devontae Adams or Ivory. I cannot sit Devontae Adams today against the Bears. Need two out of these: Deshaun Jackson, Watkins, Vereen, and Harvin. I will go with Vereen to be busy for the Giants offense, and Watkins is your best of the rest. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming by today. Good luck in week one, and I'll be back next Sunday. Next chat is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget the exclusive Edge Fantasy Football Package launches tomorrow. Good luck in week one.